Joining me right now, the governor of our great state, Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Chad, good morning. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing well. Appreciate you coming on the show today. And Governor, I know that you want to talk about the legislative successes that we had in this past legislative session, and we're going to get to that. But real quickly, I do want to ask you about the growing story that we're seeing out of McKinney, Texas. I'm sure you've seen the story, you've seen the video. Have you been in touch, or have they been in touch with your office, the mayor, or any of the departments there in McKinney? And what are your thoughts on the issue in McKinney?
Well, first, law enforcement at multiple levels always are in discussions about things like this. But if you see what's going on in McKinney, it's a subset of a larger issue that we are working on, and that is, frankly, it's an outgrowth of a lack of trust and confidence that some people in the general public have with regard to law enforcement. We need to build a stronger sense of trust and confidence with law enforcement, and it's just one of the things that we're working on.
Do you fear that this is going to turn into another widespread protest that we've seen in other cities?
I do not. I just don't think that we have those types of situations in Texas. I think this is going to be tamped down. Obviously, no one was killed like what we've seen in Ferguson or Baltimore, some other places like that. Frankly, the video that I've seen is very limited. And we have a situation where people were not responding to police commands. We've seen a growing trend in that regard. And whenever that happens, that leads to greater challenges.
How do police officers build that trust? Because I think you're right. There is this distrust more than ever, it seems. How do police officers gain that trust back?
We're doing several things from the legislative side, and then there's some things that can be done from the police officer side. From the legislative side, we're working on things like body cameras. So we're going to be able to show with accuracy exactly what happens. And had a body cam been on the police officer in Ferguson, for example, no one would have ever doubted what happened, and that what the police officer did there was exactly the right thing to do, and he didn't do anything wrong. As far as the more day-to-day process of building trust, law enforcement agencies across the state of Texas know this is a big issue, and they work on it. They work on strategies about ways to build trust with the community.
We're visiting with Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Governor, we just about every news story that's out there regarding the legislative session basically says it was a very good session for you. What do you see as your biggest wins during this session?
I had 4 or 5 priorities. One is to grow jobs, and one way to grow jobs is to cut taxes. When you allow people to keep more of their own money, especially businesses, they will take that money and reinvest it right back into building more jobs. And so cutting the business franchise tax as well as cutting property taxes is a huge win for Texans. The other thing that we wanted to get done was to provide the money that's needed to build more roads. And we came out with a plan that altogether is going to add more than $4 billion a year to building more roads for at least a decade. Another thing that we did that I will be signing today in Houston, Texas, is going to be a comprehensive border security plan. Texas is going to step up and do what the federal government has failed to do, and that is that we are going to secure our border. And then on top of all that, we've taken care of education needs by advancing education all the way from early education to higher education, providing special funding for the Texas Tech University system that's going to be so profoundly helpful to regions like Lubbock.
Visiting with Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Governor, when you take a look at, and you mentioned Texas Tech, that kind of jumps into another discussion that you and I have had quite often, which has been campus carry. Campus carry did pass. It was, as some have described it, more of a watered-down version of campus carry. How do you envision campus carry playing out among our universities?
Well, with the passage of 2 Second Amendment right bills, campus carry and open carry, people will be entitled to carry in ways with greater freedom than ever before. But let's put this in context. with regard to campus carry, and that is that campus carry laws have existed across the nation. Look at Wisconsin, look at Colorado, look at Oregon, et cetera. And you've never seen any type of outbreak of gun shooting on campuses wherever campus carry is allowed. In fact, from what I've heard, there actually has never been any documented shooting by someone authorized to carry on campus. And so all these hand-wringings about the outbreak of the OK Corral and blood in the streets, it's the same type of thing that we saw when concealed carry was allowed in Texas more than a decade ago. People thought it was going to be the end of the world, and absolutely nothing bad has happened because of it.
Visiting with Texas Governor Greg Abbott, only have a few minutes left here on the program. I asked the Lieutenant Governor about this, and I'll ask you as well. Any disappointments about this session? Anything that you were really pushing for that you did not see get passed that you're really disappointed about?
One thing I push for is to build a stronger bond between elected officials and their constituents, the people they serve. And so I had a comprehensive ethics reform package that I thought would elevate Texas legislators to the highest level of trust position they could possibly have. And they passed about half of the proposals that I was seeking. They didn't go the whole way. And I still think that we need to see legislators step up, cast votes that will shine a light on what they're doing. They will also engender a greater sense of trust and confidence that voters have in them. And among other things, that'll be one thing that will increase the level of confidence to have voters come out in greater numbers to vote for these people.
Governor, I know yesterday you said that there will be no special session as far as a special session on gay marriage legislation. Do you anticipate there being any special session at all?
The way I see it is, with regard to the legislature, we have 140 days where we are scheduled to meet every 2 years. That's the way the Constitution was structured. That's the way the people of the state of Texas want it. And we had to get our job done within the time limits. These issues came up, and as did a variety of other issues. Some issues that I was pushing came up that didn't get taken care of. There's no mulligans with regard to the legislative session. I cannot predict external events and what external events may arise that could cause us to have to come into a special session. But if there were issues on the table that didn't get done during the session, that they will have to wait and build force to be addressed in the next session.
I think just about every Texas lawmaker says thank you for that. Governor,
exactly. Told them to go home and not come back until 2017.
That's right. Governor Abbott, appreciate your time today, and we'll visit with you on down the road.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Have a good one. That's Texas Governor Greg Abbott here on the Chad Hasty Show.